In today's video, we're going to bring a full review of a Pioneer 14 Active. Hello, James Hogan here from Caley Marina, bringing you the best tips and tools to help build the right Pioneer boat for you. On this channel, we do Pioneer boat reviews and engine reviews, so you should consider subscribing. If there's a video you'd like to see from us in the future, please feel free to comment below. Like most of our videos, I'm going to take you to the bow of the boat. So the 14 Active comes with a V-shaped shallow planing hull. This means it's really easy to get the boat up onto the plane, and also it means it can operate in shallow waters, which allows you to run it up onto beaches, operate in rivers. Anything with a depth might be suspicious. These boats are great for it. You've got the eye at the front of the boat here. This is for hooking up onto trailers. You could connect onto moorings, even use it to develop an anchor system, so it's very handy to have. Pioneer boats are made from fully recyclable material, made from rotationally moulded medium density polyethylene, which really makes it the green choice for boating. The boat I sit on today is made out of dark grey material, however it's also available in white and orange. So at the front of the boat here, we've added the additional handrails. They've got good grip points here. So as you slide down, you've almost got a nest that holds you into this position, making it nice and safe and secure. So with the handrails, I'm obviously suggesting that you could use this bow seat. But if you look at the layout of the 14 Active, it's actually extremely spacious and it's very generous with its seating positions because it can only have up to 4 people on board. You've got a seat here, easily fit 2 in the middle seat there, and then 2 at the rear, so that would be 5. Which you can't have on the boat, obviously. One thing you might want to consider when laying people out on the boat is if you did have 4 people, it's quite a lot of work for the 25 horsepower to get up onto the plane. So you need to maybe sometimes balance out the weight, and that means you would have somebody certainly up on the bow here until it gets up onto the plane, and then you can readjust again. A couple of other cool features on the boat is you've got your lifting eyes. These are the strongest points of the boat, so if you needed to lift it in and out with a forklift or a crane, you could do that, but you could also tie off fenders and rope using these positions, so it's very clever and saves having to get any cleats. You've also got your cup holders there, which for a coffee when you're out fishing, or a water bottle or anything like that. Again, it's just a nice luxury to have. So you've got a couple of grab handles on the inside of the boat here, again just adding to the safe, secure feel of the boat. One thing that impressed me when I was first introduced to the Pioneer 14 Active, it's the same feature on the 15 all-round as well, is the floor. So it's made out of the same polyethylene material as the boat, so it's all made of polyethylene, which gives you longevity with this boat. But it's not just the fact it's made out of polyethylene, it's the self-draining element of this boat, which is pretty cool. So you've got 3 channels covered up here with some rubber streaks. And what happens is, when it rains or you get water on the deck or there's a bit of splash, it filters into these 3 channels and runs to the rear of the boat, to the back well, where it just drains out naturally because it's self-draining. So I just think that's really clever, and the way that the floor is as well, it's got kind of different patterns on it, so it just gives you that grippy feel as you're moving along. So that's something that really struck me as quite impressive when I was first introduced to the 14. Moving to the middle seat box here, and part of the 14's practical design is it is a folding bench. So as I lift the lid and the cushion there, you'll see you've got 3 different storage compartments that you might want to maybe put an additional fuel tank in. You can put your sandwiches, you can put whatever you'd have on your day out, life jackets, all in these 3 different containers here. Again, some neat little storage on the corner here. I think this is more probably typically designed for your fishing market, because you could put boat hooks or fishing rods just down in the channel here as well. Again, handrails back and front. It might seem a bit over the top, but remember, this boat can shift up to 24 knots. So if you're sitting on board and you hit something at that speed, you're going to want something to hold on to, which is why I'm such a strong advocate for the rails. You do have rollock holders that you could put rollocks in and row. However, with the console being on this boat and the rails, it makes rowing a little bit more tricky. I do know customers that take out a torque set so they can take off the the console. Whether I'd recommend that or not, I'm not sure. The most important thing is check your engine before heading out. Make sure it's serviced regularly and having the correct communication tools for to see where you're plotting and make sure you're not going to hit anything with a depth finder, and also a radio, so if you do get into trouble you can communicate. So that would be my advice, as opposed to taking down the console and attempting to roll your way back to safety. Next to the handrails and next to the passenger and the skipper side, you have got a handrail on the inside too, just again something else to grab onto. Then head to the back of the boat. Now, the ladder that comes with the Pioneer 14 is a sort of a step ladder, so it just sort of falls down as you see there, and then it's a step up onto the boat, and then again up on top of the freeboard, and it just clips in like so. So it's simple but effective, and again, would very much recommend having a step ladder, because if anybody ends up in the water, there's no other way really of getting on board unless you've got that step there. This takes us nicely on to the engine. We've got an electric trim 2-cylinder 25 horsepower Yamaha engine on this boat. I believe the Yamaha 25 horsepower has got the best power to weight ratio on the market, and certainly it's a nice partner for the Pioneer 14 Active. I've had this boat planing with 4 adults. Now we did have to distribute the weight, so put somebody up at the front, have a skipper at the back and a couple in the middle. But I did manage to get it to plane with 4 adults, which is quite impressive for a motor of this size. We're just going to pan down onto the back while here. It's not the most glamorous part of the boat, but there's a few features I just want to point out is why I'm so impressed with the boat from an engineering point of view. You can see the 3 channels in the back here. This is where the water runs to when it's on your deck. The way this works is because the weight of the engine sort of pivots the boat back, so it creates a sort of a natural drain. You would then have your 2 bungs at the back here, so you just pull them out and then the water drains out. When it's on a mooring or left on the water, you can actually have those drain bungs completely removed, which is pretty clever. You've got your condensation bung, so if you unscrew those 2 knots there, you've got direct access between the skins should you ever need it, although beneath the transom there is actually a brass bung which you can unscrew to get any water out. Don't worry if you get water between your skins, that's perfectly natural on a Pioneer boat. It's just the build-up of condensation over time, and it probably should be drained at least once a season. Above the engine we have got the A-frame. Now, I'm a huge advocate of A-frames from a safety point of view. I once had a customer who told me an A-frame has saved his life twice. He was out on a boat all on his own, not wearing his kill cord admittedly, and he accidentally knocked the boat to go, took a tumble, and if there was no A-frame he would have fallen straight into the water and the boat would have been off. Whereas the A-frame was there, caught his body, so it meant he didn't go into the water and the situation was quickly de-escalated. Now, if you're on the boat, of course you're always going to be wearing your kill cord, but it could be a passenger, could be standing up or get bumped or something like that, and it's just nice knowing you've always got that safety net on the back there. Plus, if you get into any sort of foggy conditions, you've got your lights, or dark conditions, you've got your lights to communicate with other boaters what's happening, so that's why I'm such a strong advocate for the A-frame. Attached onto the A-frame, which comes as standard with the Pioneer 14 A-frame, is the backrest. Again, crucial for your day of boating because it just provides that back support when skippering the boat and smashing against waves, and it just makes the whole day a lot more comfortable. Underneath the helm seat box here, we've got more storage. This time there's not a huge amount of options for your storage because you're going to need a battery to start the engine, your battery isolator switch. This port side will be taken up with that. Your central storage will be used for your fuel tank. That's the easiest way to connect with the engine. There is sort of, on the starboard side here, space for additional storage, such as your phone or wallet or tools or anything like that. So there is a small bit of storage there, but mainly the central and the port side lockers will be filled for essentials for the engine. So one thing that strikes me on the console for the 14 Active is, again, there's another cup holder here similar to the front. On the console itself, we've gone for quite a basic setup. We've gone for a Garmin fish finder. This gives us our depth, our GPS tracking. I feel like the information you get from the Garmin is sufficient, And if you are into your fishing, it tracks where you've been so you can easily find previous good spots. You've got a nice, neat cable steered steering wheel, which is easy to remove and in a comfortable position from the helm. And you've also got your 703 side mount Yamaha control, which gives you the ability to trim your engine and also your forward, your reverse and your neutral throttles just there by your right hand. Unlike your car, you can't adjust the seat on boats. However, there is generous space for all sorts of shapes and sizes of skippers. So I feel like that's something they do quite well, the nice seated position for the 14 Active. On this console, we fitted the screen and the rail. The screen for me is an absolute essential because if you're out on a cold day, it just stops that wind chill hitting the skipper as you're going along. And if you want to increase the lifespan of your screen, you're going to need to put the grab rail on there, because if you don't have the grab rail, if there's a bump and you're manoeuvring potentially standing up, then chances are you might grab onto your screen, which could cause it to rip or tear. So if you're going to have the screen, you absolutely have to have the grab rail. And again, it's another place if you're manoeuvring around the boat, you've just got something else to hold on to. So it just adds to the nice, safe, stable feel for the boat. And that's the Pioneer 14 Active. I think this is a really good entry-level boat. And also for people who are experienced in the water but just want really nice, easy boating, this boat packs a lot in for its size. It's really easy to launch and recover, and I couldn't recommend it highly enough. For more information about Pioneer Boats, please visit our website at www.pioneerboats.co.uk.